Today I'm going to tell you what to do if your parents will not let you get a street bike.
This is all I do. 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 Oh, this is all I do. This is all I do. This is all I do.
Alright, so before we really get into it, I just want to tell you who I'm riding with today. I'm out here with my friend Damien on his 98, I think, CBR 600. And his stepdad Pete, who's on his 94 GSXR 750 with a 95 1000 motor swapped into it. So let me just say this. Some parents, you're not going to be able to convince them to be able to let you get a street bike because they may have had someone in their family or someone really close to them that they know that passed away on a motorcycle, and they're just not having it. So in certain situations, there's nothing you can do. But I'm going to tell you guys what you need to do to have the best chance at allowing your parents to let you get a motorcycle. So the first thing that I'm going to say is, if you're telling your parents you want a motorcycle and they are shooting it down, if you've just started to bring this up, of course they're going to say no. They're not going to think you're taking it seriously. So you got to show them that you're serious. So a way that you can do that is keep bringing it up. This might not be something that's going to happen overnight. You might have to keep bringing it up to them. You're going to want to show them by, you know, maybe getting better grades, or maybe taking up some more responsibilities around the house, and show them that you're serious about getting a bike, and that you'll do whatever it takes to prove it to them. Another thing that you can do, which is what I did, is you can get a dirt bike first. Now, if there's nowhere for you to really ride, then, you know, you're gonna have to take the loss on that one. But if you live in an area like this where there's a lot of woods, get a dirt bike first and just learn on that. Or better yet, get a dual sport. You can ride that on the road. You just tell your parents it's a dirt bike with a street legal license plate. Tell them you're going to get something small like a 250 or 300 just because you want something to commute around on, you know, good gas mileage. And then you get a 600 and you tell them it's a 300. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Unless they don't know anything about bikes, then you can tell them it's a 300 if you get a 600. So as I was just saying, if you are showing your parents that you're responsible, you're going to do something that's responsible, that'll help your chances. But if you're already a kid, like let's say you already have really good grades and you don't really do anything that pisses off your parents, you know, you're a good kid, you listen to what they say, you can use that as validation. Be like, hey guys, you know, I do everything you want me to do. I don't really give you guys any problems. You know, this is something I really want to do and I'm serious about it. You know, can you guys give me a chance? Let me prove myself. Let me get a bike. Let me show you I'll be careful. And it's all in perspective too, you know, riding in general. You need to show them that it's not as dangerous as people make it out to be. Because is it dangerous? Yeah, it's, you know, with all these other cars, it's not riding in general. It's these other cars that you got to worry about. It's the thing with bikes. It's not always being on the bike, but sometimes it's about where the bike takes you. And now we're stuck behind the bus. That was a fun 3 seconds. So just to give you guys an idea of a situation where someone convinces their parents to let them get a street bike, I'm going to tell you how I convinced my parents to let me get mine. So, as I said a little earlier, I ended up getting a dirt bike before I got this bike. Well, I had always thought dirt bikes were cool as hell. I always wanted one since I was a kid, but my parents, you know, that's just not something they wanted me to get, and anything that I ever wanted, I had to go out and get myself. You know, my parents wanted to teach me that, you know, not everything in life is handed to you, so you gotta go and get it. So So eventually I got a job and I started saving up money, and I had a little money saved, and my friend was like, you know, if you want to get a dirt bike, because he rode, I had just gotten to know him. He's like, if you're serious, you know, I can get you a dirt bike. And probably didn't know I take that very seriously. If I say I'm going to do something, 95% of the time I'm going to do it. So he helped me find a dirt bike online on Craigslist, and that's what we ended up doing. We ended up getting that dirt bike, the 02 YZ125, and I was on that for about a year. I still have it now after 3 years, and you know, I love that bike. But after about a year, and I was like, you know what, the dirt isn't enough. I want to be able to ride whenever I want. Because when I would ride my dirt bike, I'd have to load it up into my truck, and then I would have to drive my truck wherever we were going to end up riding, park there. So I decided that I was going to get a street bike. So I'd been riding the dirt bike for a while, and I put the idea in my parents' head, and they weren't really having it. But I kept telling them, you know, over time, I would bring it up, I'd be like, yeah, I think I'm going to do it. And they're like, you're crazy, you know, we don't want you doing that. And I think by the time summer came, I told my parents I was just going to go take the motorcycle test. Just to have it, you know, just, you know, it's something good to have. I told them that, they agreed with it. They're like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then my mom kind of knew. She's like, well, if you get your motorcycle license, I'm sure that means you're going to end up getting a motorcycle at some point. And I'm like, nah, maybe not, you know, we'll see. Like, I really want one, but I don't know if I'm going to do it. And of course, in my head, I'm like, first chance I get, getting a bike. But so I ended up getting the motorcycle license, and after I got the license, I started looking at bikes. And I told my parents, I was like, you know, I do everything you guys ask me to do. I have really good grades, you know, anytime you guys need help with anything, I'm always there. This is something I really want to do. If, you know, if you guys don't want me to do it, I understand. You can't make it seem like you're telling them you're doing it. That's their last resort. If you respect them and you're like, hey, I respect you, I know you guys don't want me to do this, but I really want to do it, we'll let them get a bike. That actually worked for me. I told my parents. My mom was not really happy. I didn't even really tell my dad about it. My dad is kind of like, he's pretty cool. He doesn't really say much, but I told him I was gonna get something slow. I ended up getting my Ninja 650, which is it's fast. It has enough power that you'll need on the streets for sure. I came home with that, and I actually got my bike a week before I got the license. I had signed up for the license before I went and got a bike, and I looked at the bike. I looked at bikes probably like a month before I took the actual test. I told them I had signed up, so I went and I saw that 650, and I was in love with it, and I'm like, that's the one. It was a dealership. I told the guy, I was like, hang on to that one because I'll be back. But I was afraid someone was gonna buy it. I was like, you know what? I'm getting the license next week. I'll let my friend Damien here on the CBR drive it back home. I was like, dude, I'm gonna buy this bike. If you could drive it home for me, that would mean the world. And he's like, yeah, yo, no problem. So I ended up having that bike in the garage, and my dad is like, I thought you said you were gonna get something slow. I'm like, I could have done a lot worse. Now I'm on a 1000, but I don't think my parents know how fast it is. I just said it was more of a sporty feel, which is what I wanted. Which is what I wanted, but I don't need a 1000. It's just, I really wanted this bike. But anyway, so I told my parents I was going out to get it. I told my mom, I was like, just so you know, I'm probably coming home with a bike today. She's like, you know, you're an adult. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I really don't like that idea. But, you know, my parents, they respected the fact that I respected them and that I was serious. Now, if it gets to the point, if you are respectful to your parents and they're not going to let you have it, you could always come home with it. Now, whoever's watching this, you know your parents better than anybody. If you think your parents are bluffing when they say they'll kick you out of the house if you get a bike, and you want to take that bluff, you can go for it and just come home with the bike, see what they do. But if you really think your parents are going to kick you out, I don't suggest it. that is an option if you guys want to do it, but it depends on the situation. So best way to get your parents to let you get a bike is to just be real with them and show them that you're serious. And at the end of the day, if you give it enough time, it may not be, hey, I want a motorcycle now, let's do it. You might have to wait a little while to make it happen. But if you show them that you're serious about it and you're consistent, eventually they may get over it. Like my friend actually crashed my 650. I had sold it to him. He crashed it after about a month of riding. Some idiot was stopped in the middle of an intersection as he came around a turn, and he crashed into him. Thank God he was okay, but his parents really don't want him to get another bike, and he's just showing them that, you know, he loves riding to the point where he's willing to get back on a bike even after crashing. And they're not happy about it, but they respect the fact that he's serious about it and that he's passionate about it. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. If you could throw me a like, and if you got any questions, comments, concerns, throw it down in the comments. And hit that sub button, guys. Hit that subscribe button. So thanks again, and have a great day. Peace!